Hey, so welcome to everybody. I'm Michael Dopp, and this is Josh Canning, and we're here from Evangelize, which is an online membership community for the committed missionary disciple that really, is intended to help all of us become better at living out our vocation to share the Catholic faith with everyone that we encounter. So tonight we're going to be looking at something that is just super practical, but also super effective when it comes to evangelization. It's how to create and invite people to have conversations about the faith. So Josh is just going to share a little bit about how we do this from his experience. So Josh, what's one thing that we can do to begin these sorts of conversations about the Catholic faith?
Yeah, Michael, one of the things that we need to do really is cultivate a spiritual taste for being close to people. Pope Francis says in Evangelii Gaudium, to be evangelizers of souls, we need to develop a spiritual taste for being close to people's lives and to discover that itself is a source of greater joy. Mission is at once a passion for Jesus and a passion for his people. So I think we really need to realize that we need to have this spiritual love for being near people. And that means people even outside our typical circles. It's even outside the people that maybe we prefer being around. Right. We need to be going out of our way to connect with people, even those who are far off from the church. So developing and cultivating that spiritual sense is a really important thing. Now, one of the ways I think we can think about this is think about Jesus eating with people, the way he would eat with sinners and tax collectors and prostitutes, and realize that we should think, how can I be going out and meeting these people? There's different ways we can do this. We might be, thinking about joining a art class at a community center that brings us into contact with new people. Maybe joining a sports league. There's this thing called meetup.com where you can, based on your own interests, meet other people who have similar interests and go join a group. I would say absolutely go and do this. I, for a period, realized when I was working in ministry in the church that the only friends I had were already passionate Catholics, and that's not necessarily the best thing. Our faith is meant to be given away, and if we're only amongst other people who are deeply committed disciples, well, we're not really going to be able to give them, that much. So yeah, I think we need to seek those opportunities.
A lot of it, Josh, is also just having our eyes open, because we meet people all the time, but if we're kind of self-enclosed, we just don't see these people that we meet, whether it's at the park or a next door neighbor or the new guy at work or whatever it is. But if we kind of have an eye to this, all of a sudden we recognize that God's already put some of these people into our lives.
Absolutely, Michael. And that's the second point, is about really being fully present to people when we are out and about. So sometimes there's going out and seeking people, but then in our travels and our daily commutes, there's already people in front of us. And it's very easy today to just pop in our earbuds and be in our phone and almost be projecting to the world, I'm actually closed for business. We missionary disciples have to never be projecting that to people around us. Even when we're tired, we should be projecting availability. We should be the type to look around and offer somebody a smile and just be aware and available to people around us. And there's ways we can really do that. I just think of, just to share some experiences from me, sometimes I'm tempted when I'm traveling not to go out of my way to talk to people. When I'm on a plane for work or whatever, I feel like actually I want to just pull my hoodie over my head and pull the strings and go to sleep. But I try to always make a point to talk to the people in the seats around me, just to ask a friendly question, where are you going to, or have you ever been to Toronto or whatever. And sometimes that opens up amazing conversations that you just wouldn't believe. I can tell you one recently where I just was able to invite a girl to an evangelization thing in Vancouver, and it was because I was open to conversations of those around me.
Good for you, Josh. What do you find that you are those difficult for you to start, or how do you just start those sorts of conversations? How do you kind of move it from just talking about the weather, talking about the faith?
They are difficult. It is difficult for me. I am an introvert, as you know. So sometimes there's something in me that says I'm imposing by asking somebody where they're going. Maybe they just want their privacy, and I have to try to overcome that, because I have to realize that a conversation is somewhere where grace can really work. So I just try to force myself to at least be polite in the start, and then follow that up with some question. And the way that it gets to where it is just by asking people questions. I have a bit of a benefit in that I work in the church, so people will ask me, what do you do? And I'll tell them, and then it just goes that way. Other ways might be by you asking questions about them, and not just what do you do, but what are you passionate about? What do you do on the weekends? And I just find God guides those conversations sometimes in the direction where faith is, where He wants them to go. So sometimes you don't know; it's not an exact science, but it's worth asking the questions.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Josh. Well, thanks for this. I know that you have a lot more to say on this topic, but that's a great introduction to ways that we can invite conversations of faith with other people. So I'm Michael Dopp and Josh King from You Evangelize, and it's been great having you with us.